Hey folks, we're going to talk a little bit about something that got introduced in Dungeons and Dragons: The Tyrant's Eye, and that is something called a shield tap. So I've been roasted by one of the senior developers at Stern. I was on a Venom thread on Pinside, and people were complaining about the delay in the locks and all that because they're much slower in the current version. But they fixed that now, and all is good, right? But I kind of made a snidey comment that I felt that Dungeons and Dragons were running on brake fluid as well, right? Because there was a delay in the input lag for the shield, right? And I got corrected that the shield is a tap, right? So we all know that now that I got corrected. It is a tap. If you hold the button, nothing happens. When you release the button, the shield is supposed to come up, right? And I recently streamed a release party, a Dungeons and Dragons release party, and we had a pretty decent final game there. And this shield kind of came into play, so to speak, right, on various things. So let me just see if I can show you that real quick, right? So let me get that gone. So what happened? The first save that kind of occurs here in the game, it's a little bit further in. The shield is not involved. The player thought that he had the shield, but he didn't have the shield, but he saved the ball anyway, and it's coming up here right now. So yeah, so let's see. He bricks that shot. So look at this now. Yeah, so he hit the button, but the shield wasn't lit, right? And that's fine. Right, everybody's cheering, and it was like super fun to watch, right? And I kind of made a clip of this and put on Instagram and all that good stuff, right? Because it was pretty fun kind of sequence of events here. Because now he gets his shield lit, so now the shield is lit. Everybody can see the insert there, perfect, right? I don't know exactly what kind of happens here, but yeah, there it comes. There, he tapped the shield. He tapped the shield, right? And at the end of the day, like, he missed it. Yeah, that's pinball, right? It's pinball, right? And that's just how life is, right? You can't win every time. But what happened was that this player, well, I posted this on YouTube and Instagram and all those things, right? That I usually do, right? And and he basically, like, you can see the ball is sort of like above the shield, right? And his hand is released from the button, right? So, like, yeah, sure, tap my ass, right? Can you just imagine that if you would flip the flipper, and the flipper would engage, like, when you hold your hand a foot from the game, right? It would be completely unacceptable. And the thing is that this got into a great discussion on our Slack that we have here in our local pinball community, right? And another kind of top-rated player, he just, like, he assumes it's supposed to be like that. It rewards foresight, right? And that's not a dumb idea at all, right? Because if that was instant, like, puts here that it would be ridiculously easy because you can always have the shield available. It's just like you do your in-lane kind of. Everything kind of feeds nicely into your inlanes, and you spell and you get your shield. I don't know what you spell there. I mean, there's the inlane outlane kind of dribble that you do there, right? And another fun thing here is maybe the delay decreases if you have a higher, like, dexterity or agility. I don't know what the exact stat is in this particular RPG universe, right? But that would make total sense, right? and that would be a great feature. That was my comment there. And then we have another guy in our pinball community. He's a very senior software engineer, and he just slams like that would be too inventive, but he would love it at the same time, right? Because imagine if you pick the rogue, right? Because they have high dexterity and they're very agile, and all of a sudden you have less input lag on the shield button, which would be a pretty decent feature, right? And then there was some I mean, if they had a grace period on it, it would just be bonkers. Like if you drain, you can just hit the button and you get your ball back, right? That doesn't really work, right? And so I've sort of let me see here. So I went kind of like all in here and kind of like, all right, so how much is it actually lagging? So Tim was sort of in a domain like it's 100 milliseconds, right? And I just wanted to make sure that are we in that ballpark, right? So in this, we can see I don't know exactly where the frame is here now, but let's just start here. So we can kind of debate like when does he actually releases his hand. I also want to preface this so I don't get flamed by that. So both cameras, so in this particular setup, the playfield camera lags 1 frame. So and I've compensated for that. So I've nudged the playfield video to start 1 frame earlier. So everything is in sync 100%. And I can, if anyone doubts that, I can show you how I know that. But let's just look at the hand here, right? So the thing is, he just basically just slams his fist, right? Jams the hand in good there, right? And let me just move this a little bit here. And then we can debate, like, I can say I think the hand is off there. And there you can actually see the physical button here, right? But let's see. Let's say that the hand is off there, right? So we're stepping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is, right? So we basically have, I think it's 7 frames we get from that, or is it just 60? Yeah, let's just look at it. So the shield came up there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it is 6 or 7, or maybe, yeah, I'd say it's 7 because I think the hand was off, right? And and we can kind of argue like how much. All right, so how much is a frame then, right? And the math is this, right? So like 1 frame is 16.667 milliseconds. So you basically take, I think you divide 60 frames by 1,000 milliseconds. That's how you get that number, right? So it's a well-known kind of number in video. In video production and such, right? So 7 to 8 frames, like so the player was absolutely right there. So there's like 100 millisecond delay, right? And if you kind of compare that to like any like a lot of like shoot 'em up ports and stuff that I kind of play on my consoles and stuff. Some games are like horrible ports, right? And I found one game that had just like 7 frames of input lag. Which is Dragon Blaze, which is Sikio's one of my favorite shooters from Sikio, but it's completely unplayable on Switch. It works great on PS4 and on Mister, and no, it's not available on Mister. It's on the Recal box, the FB Neo emulator. But anyhow, it doesn't matter, right? And that kind of like puts it in perspective. Like, all right, so this is actually pretty bad, right? But at the end of the day, so I mean, if we kind of get to kind of ask the question here and kind of have a debate about this. What should the shield actually do, right? Should it be like flipper low latency for the shield, or should it be an attribute that you build with your character? That is something that I would love to discuss, right? What would be a good attribute to have. Like, I mean, me personally, is just like adding that as a as a stat for your character. I don't think that would give me as much, because you're gonna one-shot play this game a lot, right? And if you build your stats for your character, and maybe the rogue will have a little bit better from the start, that might make an impact, right? But I would love to have, like, when you release the button, the shield, you basically flick the shield up when you release the hand, and that's the response time I would love to see on the shield, right? You basically have the same amount of input lag on the flipper on the shield, which might be a tall order. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Spike 2 platform, but I mean, at the end of the day, can they get low latency on the flippers? Why can't you just get low latency on any coil in the a button activated coil in the game, right? That's just that's kind of a question. Anyhow, fire it off in the comments. Tell me I'm just dumb even digging this up. Check out my website, dri374.live, for a lot of streaming content and links to my swag and all that good stuff. But hope to see you soon. Take care.